All right, it's time to start filming something on YouTube as well. I'm your normal average IT salesman from Finland, but also I'm a pretty heavy on do-it-yourself, and I have tons of projects, and so we decided with a friend Chris to start filming some, and then he edits them and makes them YouTube appropriate. In this video I'm going to mold treat the wall here of our garage and then clean some parts of the mold that has occurred. So this situation, we didn't paint this. This is just the first layer of paint here. We didn't finish painting because we thought that the winters are dry, and because of that we can just wait until spring to paint. But as it happens, there was the last winter there was no snow. It was only raining water all the time, and it pretty much made a mess of our whole paint job here. So now I need to work some more and use the mold coat. Well, we'll see what happens then. All right, so let's get started. This here is the mold treatment that I'm using, and it's supposed to be organic, all natural and stuff. So it's effective, at least in cleaning the mold, as I've seen already. And the way I use it, I'll just spray it on there on the wall and then let it dry. And if there is a small spots of mold like this one here, there's more on the other wall I can show you, then I'll scrub it with this strong wired brush. Let's get going. This wall here is in a pretty good shape, so I don't need to worry too much about the thickness of the coat. There are a few places that I need to rub the mold off, but mostly I can just spread it here as so, and then let it dry. It's dry enough to paint in a few hours, but I'm gonna leave it like that for a day, just because the clock is already so much. If I'm gonna paint anything, it's the cover boards. If I'm gonna paint anything today, that is. Yeah, there. That's simple. So this is the kind of brush that I'm talking about. We usually use these for washing carpets in Finland. That's all we gotta do. Just scrub there, and if it feels like it's not gonna go easily, we're gonna just apply some more there. Scrub some more, and as you can see, when it's wet with the mold poison, then it's when it's wet with the mold poison, then you can get it off pretty easily. That ought to do it. I don't know if you can see it through the camera, but the white's no longer as white. So there's more for me to do here. But still, if anyone's concerned about the type of mold, this is the blue mold, which is more or less just like an aesthetic thing. It looks bad if it's there. It doesn't really start rotting the wood if there's no too much moisture. It is just the kind of mold that starts growing very, very, very easily, even if there's no real water damage. As you can see here, I'm putting a bit thicker coat, and then when there's up there's not that much. Smaller amounts will do. Every time there's more of that mold, then I'll just spray on more of this poison. This is not dangerous to nature. Looking much better. There's still plenty to do there, and I need to spread the mold poison up there. I was a bit worried that this would end, that I'd run out of this. It's a bit soapy because it foams and it's sour. It's acidic, I mean. And that's also the reason that it's beneficial to paint over it before the next rains, so that the acidic and the components in the substance will get locked into the wood, in between the wood and the paint coat, so that then it would continue to treat the wood against molds. I would have imagined that the north-facing wall would have been more moldy than the south-facing wall, but it happened to be the exact opposite. This is the north-facing wall, the one that we just pretty much sprayed on. South wall here, and there's nothing standing because of the lake and because of the alignment of the building. There's nothing in between the most sunshine during the day, and that was the most moldy corner. So that's interesting. The paint that we are using is black, so it should take care of the remaining small dots here and there. And well, when you consider about the aesthetics, we use the black paint and it actually creates the kind of old-timey feel that we like. And the old-timey log house is actually created through tens and hundreds of years of exposure to elements without any protection. So this blue mold is a huge part of why the old buildings look as they do. The heavy exposure to UV light, obviously, but also the natural elements within the logs. So, but since we are using paint, it's better if it's all clean. I mean, we could wait for 100 years and then this would be beautiful, but it would take 100 years. Alright, as you can see, I have already painted the remainder of this garage, just the last time when we poisoned it. Used the acidic mold treatment. This was the part that had the most mold in it, and the paint obviously has hidden most of it. Now we have some dry season behind us. Currently it's raining, but still the dryness has shrunk our boards a bit, so the paint job looks messy here, but we actually made a pretty decent job with it at the time. Once it gets more wetter and the air becomes more humid, then the boards will then once more bloat a bit. We cannot paint directly now. If we wanted to, hide all those white lines, we can't do it now. The way that you paint on top of this is you paint immediately on top of it, wet on wet, or you'll have to wait for 2 years that it's completely and utterly dry. Hey, there's still lots of projects here to do.